It is my honor and privilege and blessing to speak to you. I feel like this is part of what I was born to do. But, I want to talk about, we've been talking about resolution to results, and I have sort of a take on it that I wanted to share this morning. A couple of different things, a different way of looking at resolutions. Has anybody had any trouble with their resolutions already? Can be honest. It's probably a good idea, it makes sense at the end of the year that you look back and you say, how'd this year go and what could be better next year? It makes sense that you would resolve to have something different, that you'd want to do something better. But the problem with the resolutions are many, and one of the problems is that there's really, if you've done any work on yourself, you know that you're not the only one in here, okay? There's a voice that sounds like you that really, it's always your constant advisor, but it's not necessarily your friend. And it sits on this shoulder and it sits on this shoulder. So the part of you that says, this year, I'm going to start an exercise routine and stick with it. And I'm going to use, you can tell you're trying to use your willpower to do that, like, I will. And you get a lot of energy from that because the ego likes starting stuff. It just doesn't like finishing anything, but it likes to start stuff, so you get a lot of energy, and it's like, yeah, and I'm doing it. I'm going to join a gym. I know this guy who owns a gym, and he said, we just pray when they got that willpower, we pray that they'll just sign up for a lifetime membership. Because we know, I said, what would you do if all the people who signed up for a lifetime membership showed up? He said, we'd close immediately. Couldn't handle them. They count on you sort of fading away. And this is while you're hot, sign up for a year, So anyway, the expression is, willpower creates won't power. So you will do something, and then you're sort of like pushing a pendulum this way, like, I will exercise. And then it's like, I deserve a break today. Like, there's something, you're setting up your own resistance just because you said you'd do something. And haven't you experienced that? You want to, and while you want to, it's great, and then you don't want to. But then you should, and then you're dead. So it's a good running head start using willpower, but it does sort of create won't power. And, I remember a friend of mine lost a lot of weight on this diet, but I could tell that it just couldn't possibly last because she was so angry most of the time. Can't eat that, never mind, can't eat that. We're at a restaurant, and she looked great. She was like, I was like, this ain't gonna last. And it didn't. So I have some tips that I've thought up and some that I got from other famous quotes about resolutions. But I think this is pretty good, and I've tried these, and I think they work pretty well for me. One is, don't declare anything. I know this sounds maybe the opposite of what you heard, but don't go out there and say, I'm going to lose 25 pounds. Just don't do that. Because somebody heard you say that, and there's a little voice that says, oh, really? We'll see about that. See? So you're setting yourself up when you make too big a declaration of what you're going to do. The other thing is, don't brag about your progress. That's another tip-off that you're about to get. Pride goeth before a fall. I've been going to the gym every day this week. With their Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to go every week. And I've been doing, look at this. What do you think? I don't recommend that. It does sound good for a while, but when you're in the willpower phase, it's terrific, and you want everybody to know it. But I feel like that's another setup. That's setting up resistance. What I say is, stay under the radar. Avoid resistance by quietly going about your business. See if anyone notices, but don't draw attention to yourself. This allows you to tiptoe past the resistance. You can sort of get around it that way. So, there are other reasons why these things don't work. And we'll go into them a little bit more. But one thing I recommend is, what you want to do is, there is a part of you that you recognize as your highest self. This is the part of you that's so connected with love. It is your purpose. And when you do things that are with your purpose, it doesn't even feel like effort. And that's where you can really get results. That's where your resolutions make sense. The other stuff is just somebody else's good idea and your mind telling you what you should do, you see? So the first part is, just do it. I know that's a corny, Nike expression, but there's something to be said for it. Can you imagine what your life would be like if every morning you wanted to decide whether or not you wanted to get up and go to work? Do I really feel like going to work? I don't know. You're dead. Just get up. See what I mean? That's the only way it works. Just get up. You get in your car, you just drive. You just get dressed, you take a shower. You just do it. By just doing it, you're bypassing the part that wants to debate you. Because while it's debating you, there's a hole in your psychic bucket and it's leaking. It's like, shh, I don't know, I'm late, I'm ready. Da, 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 da. You see, just get up. Just do it. What you're going to do is do it without a trumpet. I'm doing it. No, just do it. Just get up and do it. The successful habit we acquire is the one where we don't ask ourselves whether or not we feel like it. Now here's another thing. Tim Ferriss, do you know who that is? The 4-Hour Work Week? Pretty amazing guy. He says, the problem with New Year's resolutions and resolutions in general to get in better shape, which are very amorphous, is that people try to adopt too many behavioral changes at once. It doesn't work. I don't care if you're a world-class CEO, you'll quit. So part of what doesn't work about resolutions is putting too much in there. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to stop eating sugar, please. Just pick one, just a small one, and just do it. In his book, The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell talks about the broken windows theory, where small changes, like fixing broken windows in a neighborhood, actually had this huge effect on the neighborhood of decreasing vandalism. It was just one little thing, or just like painting over graffiti. They just decided in this building that everybody kept throwing rocks at because it was abandoned, just start patching up the windows. Just that thing, nothing else. No big, this is our new anti-vandalism campaign. Nope, keep it small. Just do this one little thing. And it had this kind of effect that sort of reduced vandalism everywhere. The other thing is this. When I work with couples, and when I work with CEOs, I notice that no one expects to fail. They think they have a good relationship. You hire a new person, you think it's going to be great. They like you like them. Isn't this terrific? You see? But they don't expect that this is going to go sideways, which is so foolish. All relationships have glitches. Everybody fails a little bit. Everybody has slips and falls. But if you don't expect it, then when you do slip in your resolution, that's it. Haven't you had that experience? That you had some great plan, and you feel like, well, what's the use? Obviously, I couldn't keep that one. So I'm just going back to smoking. I'm just doing, see what I mean? Because there's nothing built in that allows you to expect that, okay, I'll probably slip. Sometimes I won't go to the gym. Sometimes I won't get this right. So what? So you just quietly just get back on the horse. Just do it again, you see? So that makes a big difference. If you build in the idea that there's going to be a glitch, there's going to be a slip in your schedule, you're not always going to be able to do it, but so what? That doesn't have anything to do with it. Don't use that as the excuse to quit because you weren't perfect. Here's something else that I've learned, which is that in unity we always say that our mind creates, our thoughts create things, and that's how we manifest things. And our thoughts create kind of how our feelings are. And our feelings create how we feel in our body. But it's actually true in reverse as well. I've talked about this before, but if you take a pen and you put it in your mouth like this, and you make yourself smile, you'll get happy. Yeah. You feel for a while and get happy. It works. So what they found is that one of the greatest things you can do for yourself in accomplishing things, in having good connections with people and everything, is to be very aware of your posture. There's a woman that, I heard this TED talk from her, and it was very, very remarkable. She's a social psychologist, and I'm blanking on her name right now. Anyway, she said, look, it turns out that posture is body language is how we definitely read other people. Oh, yeah, we think but it's also how we read ourselves. In other words, there's something about our posture that's affecting our mood and our feelings of confidence and everything else. And it's actually chemical. They did a little saliva test on people, and they found that if you're notice the posture that you're in right now, all right? Now imagine you had a cell phone in your hand and you were texting someone. Just do that right now. Okay? That is like the worst possible posture you can ever have. It makes your testosterone levels go down and your corticosteroid level go up. And that to really feel confident and to feel good about yourself, you need to be expansive. And that there are different postures that actually affect your chemistry, and they affect how other people read you, and they affect how you feel about yourself. A lot of resolutions has to do with confidence, but your confidence will be low if you hold yourself in and if you slump like this. Try this for a minute. I'd like everybody to stand up and do one of these two postures, either this, like yes, or the Wonder Woman posture, or Superman, you do this, okay? Just do this for a while, okay? And then just do this. Okay, now this posture is amazing. This is actually a human posture that happens when you're accomplished something, when you're proud of yourself. You can sit down. If you want to. No, I think I'll stand. But it does something to you physically and physiologically that's really, really very, very important and really very useful. And that what they did was they had people just do this for 2 minutes. If you would just do this for 2 minutes, it would probably change your whole life. Just do this for 2 minutes before you do something else, before you go into an interview, before you talk to somebody, before any kind of a thing. I mean, I read this thing, so of course, before the meditation started, I ran out into the hall and went like this. And it's working. Anyway, when you're in that place, you're in like you'll be willing to take more of a risk. You're less stressful. You're not just pumped up but reactive. You're much less reactive. Your corticosteroids go down. Your testosterone level goes up. And it's part of this, you've heard of the expression, fake it till you make it. Well, the point of this talk was, fake it till you become it. That you actually will become what it is that you're putting yourself in that position to do. The other thing is, when you intend something, and this goes way, way back to the ages, and Jesus did this before his miracles and everything. When you intend something, you're supposed to be grateful beforehand. You be happy now. You feel it now. You feel like it's already happened. You're already there. When I talk to prospective adoptive parents, Lauren and I are adoptive parents, and I look into this audience, and these people are like, when are we going to get a baby? They're so freaked out. It's like this, everybody has a baby except them, and you can imagine, and their posture is this, like, we're on hold until the baby comes, like there's no life. And I say to them, don't be silly. Be a parent now. Absolutely. Be a parent now. Think of yourself as a parent. Be a parent. Walk around like a parent. Go into the baby's room. Go like this. Imagine yourself with your kid. Your kid's on its way. Just be ready. Be open. Be a parent now. So that you're already expecting this baby to find its way to you. Don't wait for the manifestation of your goals before you feel better. Let yourself feel great now. Imagine what it would be like to be healthier, more disciplined, more relaxed, more successful. Walk around in that state. The more you experience how it will feel with all your senses, the sooner your dreams will be realized. The other thing is, you might want to put yourself in a very supportive environment for your resolutions to come true. Be around people who inspire you. Talk to people who lift you up, who make you feel good. There's this guy who's invented this. I'm helping him raise money for this, but he's invented a cure for CO2 in the atmosphere, and it's very ingenious, and he has patents on it and everything, and he's going to take everything from a coal plant, the CO2, and he can convert it into oil and oxygen. And this, he's the real deal. He invented the Prius. Really, he did. And his patents were stolen, and he sued them and won. Okay, so he knows what he's talking about. But I don't like hanging with him very much because he keeps telling me that we're all going to die. The last time there was this much CO2 in the atmosphere, the seas were 85 feet higher. I'm like, well, there goes DC. So I don't hang with him much, okay? I don't like how I feel. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. So don't be with people who bring up fear and stuff like that. I like, Amen. What? Amen. Right. It's good. Maxwell Maltz, from a book called New Psycho-Cybernetics, said, a human being always acts and feels and performs in accordance with what he imagines to be true about himself and his environment. For imagination sets the goal picture, which our automatic mechanism works on. We act or fail to act not because of will, as is so commonly believed, but because of imagination. One thing about a supportive environment, especially if you're going to do something like exercise and you want that to be a resolution, do it with a friend. If you've ever run with a friend, walked with a friend, done something with another person, it's amazing how much we're willing to break our word with ourselves, but not with another person. Isn't that wild? That relationship means more than our relationship with ourselves. We say, I'm going to walk every day. It's like, yeah. I stood myself up. But you don't stand up a friend. You see how that works? So if you can get a person to be supportive of you and vice versa, that relationship will actually mean more. And the last thing I wanted to say is, be gentle with yourself. The way to bypass willpower, won't power, is to be as loving as you can to yourself. Forgiving, don't judge. Be as kind and forgiving as you would be with your dearest friend. Shoot for where you want to go from wherever you are without judgment. Harshness doesn't work. Try loving yourself into the person you want to be. Jim Goldstein. Here's one from Helen Keller. I like this. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to be happy, and your joy and you will form an invincible host against difficulties. Anyway, one of the things that I like to do when I talk is use that as an opportunity to write a song. So I wrote a song today, finished at 11:30 last night. As I like to say, I'm deadline driven. But it did finish up, and the song is called I Wouldn't Have It Any Other Way. All I'll ever need when all is said and done lies inside of me. The game's already won. Life's a big disguise till we open up our eyes, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
much must I change about my circumstance? Must I rearrange and grab that second chance? When I look at all I have, the blessings of the day, well, I wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, how are we to know what will make us strong and what will help us grow? That which lifts our heart calls to where we are. I can only see that which I believe. The beauty of my dreams is there to set me free. And if you start to feel your dreams as if they're real, well, you wouldn't have it any other way. You wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you.